Good morning, everybody. How are
Good
you?
morning.
How are you?
Excellent.
Nice.
You?
I'm pretty good. It's a beautiful snowy morning. It's Tuesday.
I know that was a little surprising to wake up to all that snow, which is okay.
Mhm. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's all right. It is still only February. Can't expect too much.
Yes, that is absolutely true because even the nice places have snow. So
Oh yes.
it's
Yeah.
crazy. It is crazy. Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, that's what it is right now with the weather, the world, the way it is, the globe.
The globe.
The globe.
Yes, yes, yes.
So tell us, Tuesday morning, what's on the agenda?
I have a clinic in Whitby tomorrow,
Oh,
and then I have a clinic in Belleville on Thursday. So it'll be a quick go down, no visiting people. I'm just kidding. And get in, get out.
yeah.
So then it will be another 3 months before I make it down there again. So it's nice. It'll be a beautiful drive. They have lots of snow down that way. So absolutely, absolutely. So I
I'm
have a
just typing here,
hum in my
sorry.
throat. Pardon?
I'm just typing here, sorry.
That's okay.
So what were you gonna say?
No, I was going to say that was a great chat yesterday about mental health and
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
mindset reset. Incredible. It was nice to even just to go back and listen to it again because
Yeah.
most of the time we really don't remember even what we're talking about. So
That's a part of that thing that you're gonna talk about today.
it's so true, right? And exhaustion and reset and drifting and
Yeah.
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But so today we were going to talk a little bit about hormones, but specifically, more so just some quick questions of why we even need to do a reset or why we even need to um, detox or challenge the body to try and get the ball rolling. So most of
Mhm.
us, and Wendy and I'll talk more about this later about metabolic dysfunction or even resistance, metabolic resistance. But when you have body stressed out or there's you know, you're stressed out and your body's like slugging along really slowly and or
That's
that brain fog sits in, right?
mhm.
Then you know that you're off kilter, and that's the one reason you want to try and reset or detox the body. So there's so many reasons why, but then it's that overwhelming burden of thinking that you really have to beat yourself silly detoxing, which is not true. It's about
Yeah, no, no, no.
rejuvenation and restoring, and it's you're supposed to be kind to yourself and
Mhm.
of course challenge it because yeah, you want to do something for 45 minutes. Yes, you want to walk 10,000 steps or at least challenge the body in that aspect. Do some yoga, do some stretching, do some lifting, start something new. But with that as well, it's that whole change in mindset and it's a whole change in diet
Mhm.
because these are, reasons, you know, you just need to start things because we don't want to have insulin resistance. We don't want to have cardiovascular issues. We don't want to start that process of disease or malaise, um,
The big C.
the big C.
The big C. Yeah, which I'm actually talking about tonight in a little bit
Yeah, that's
greater
right.
depth with my group, or anybody can join. Actually, it's a live talk about cancer, and yeah, from two holistic cancer practitioners. So it's going to be very cool tonight at 9. If
Very,
you
very
want
exciting.
to join us, DM me, and I'll invite you.
And
But sorry,
you've got the connection. You wrote that down in the notes for later.
no, I didn't, but I will. I
Good,
forgot
good,
about
good,
it.
good. So, I
Mhm.
mean, there's so many reasons that you can, try and detox it. And cancer prevention is certainly one of the biggest ones, that's for sure. Um,
Mhm.
but you want to support your immune system overall so that you can fight health. So some reasons why you might want to consider doing a detox, a reset, and challenge yourself is because you will have a better feeling of vitality, vibrancy, glowing. You'll have more energy. You'll
Mhm.
lose a bit of that fatigue and fogginess. Um, a little, maybe even a little relief with those digestive issues and such. And unfortunately, sometimes with a detox, the headaches come as you're detoxing, but in the end, that, especially if you have chronic headaches, that should alleviate as well, because we are getting the toxins out of our body. Um, and that's why it's great just to recognize. And I love the portion in most times when you're being intentional is journaling.
Yes.
You get most of your clients to journal as well. And it's not so much about the act of it, but it's that uh, um, understanding your body so that you can be a little more intuitive to its changes and needs.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And then the thing is, depending upon how bad you have
Mm-hmm.
treated your body, and I don't mean like you're very intentionally uh, being miserable to yourself, but I
Mm-hmm.
mean, drinking 4 or 5 cups of coffee a day, well, you're gonna understand that it's gonna hurt a little bit to just go cold turkey.
Yep.
You want to, of course, be gentle, maybe decrease it by 1 or 2, and maybe just have one in the morning as opposed to, going cold turkey and having none at all. If you have nothing but McDonald's every day for lunch, well, yeah, it's going to hurt to have a little salad at
Yep.
lunch,
Yep.
emotionally and physically. So you just have to take that in consideration. But
Oh,
anyway,
it's so true.
it's
It's so true.
a curve. I mean,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And especially when it comes to those food addictions and recognizing that emotional triggers to things,
mhm,
as well. But the nice thing is also is that you find if you need more, like let's say I get up to 5 cups a day, then I'll be
mhm,
like, okay, I'm not treating myself with self-care. I'm not resting enough. I'm not sleeping enough, and I have to reduce the coffee anyways. But if it's not working anymore, so it's the same. So it's recognizing these cravings. It's recognizing the triggers as well.
yeah,
It's, of course, as always with a detox, your goal is to sort of lose some weight or perhaps lose a bit of that water retention. So that's always a big bonus when you consider detoxes. But in most cases, you don't. It's sort of just that challenge. It's that recognizing and it's understanding where your body is. A really good thing that we normally talk about when you're doing a detox is recognizing your food sensitivities,
yes,
right? So in eliminating those, it just allows the body to rest. It allows the body to um, not be so stressed out when you're eating the things you're not supposed to. So those can be, of course, the biggest ones are, peanuts and shellfish,
mhm,
right? When it comes to sensitivities, but and allergies, but tomatoes, peppers, the chemicals, how many people have become more sensitive to glycosates, and the food chain is just that it's not the same as it was. So you have to ensure you get the best that you can so that it removes those ones. But then it's the wheat, the gluten, the dairy that you want to
mhm.
just remove for a while, see how it goes, and put them back in. So I think it's a great idea. And I it's a great way to start things or start back at that foundation. And it's funny, we've been talking about that all week, that whole building back to that foundation and understanding your health goes in many ways. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's just getting back to the basics, basically. I know the word detox really does scare people a lot,
it does.
and it's I mean, if you just change that out with the word cleanse, which is a little less scary, but it's exactly the same thing.
Yep.
Just understanding that what you're doing is removing a few of the hypoallergenic kind of foods, the stuff that's going to be, especially in your case, it's the things that are really throwing the hormones out of balance. Just
Right.
removing them for a little while, bringing your body back down to a baseline, and then allowing it to take a chance, take a bit of a breather, and then work back up from there, and be able to um, uh, metabolize and get rid of and excrete the xenoestrogens that are they're wreaking havoc on our system.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
To be able to do this on a regular basis, because that's what the body's supposed to do.
Hmm.
But because
Hmm.
we've overburdened it with all the toxins that are in our life, with all of the bad foods, the mental negativity and everything else, it just, our bodies are just like, well, they're overburdened and they can't do the job that we want to do. And then we've got that imbalance of hormones and crap in there. So
Well, it's so true. And when you're not feeling well, then you're not going to care for yourself as well, and then you're not going to love the ones around you just as much. It's interesting that when you're talking about when you're that detox and reset, you're actually getting rid of that insulin resistance sort of
Mhm.
thing, which then in turn, gives you that better energy, even for libido energy,
Yeah.
right? So that your focus gets to change and you get to have that more vibrancy in your life. And I think it's amazing. And my hope with it is that people will actually start to feel better. They'll have that glow about them. They get that radiancy out of them. Like I find that people are very gray
Mhm.
because we've been indoors, but I mean, my hope is that they can actually feel better for themselves and have a bit more power and control over the eating, over
Yeah.
chronic eating, but then recognize these simple changes that you can do just to have that hope in change, right? It doesn't have to be massive weight loss. It
No.
can just be that massive change of attitude. So,
Yeah, and just even just, bringing in some cleaner foods,
yep,
through clean eating, you can have a different outlook on life because you are allowing the fog to lift a little bit. So you're giving yourself the opportunity to say, and make some better choices for yourself and say, no, I really want to feel this way for the rest of my life. I don't want to go back to feeling, foggy and sluggish and heavy physically and emotionally all the time. And I want to be able to have fun in the bedroom like we did when we were in our 20s, and that kind of stuff.
mhm,
It's these things that there's no reason why we shouldn't. And it's just the overburden of toxins in our system right now, and
yep.
just giving yourself the opportunity. It does take just literally 5 days to make a massive, massive change.
It absolutely does.
Yeah.
Yes. And I
And
think
then
the interesting thing too is we've got these tools at work. We
Mhm.
have the Sequex, which helps with that inflammation, helps with pain management, that pain and that microcirculation aspect of things. So to utilize that as part of that boost, it's just sort of that added boost of things. And then the Echo Foot Detox
Mhm.
actually helps stimulate that same change
Yeah.
in the body. And I find even with both of them, not so much the removal of water or the removal of the toxins, but it's that uh, mind clearing that you get
Mhm.
always, that little
Yeah.
boost of energy. So certainly, if you're going to start the 5 day detox or you're going to start a mindset change, contact us so you can get into the office if you're in the Sudbury area to try out the Sequex to see how it's going to
Yeah.
boost and change you, especially for that anti-inflammatory
Yeah.
program.
It definitely enhances it quite a bit, simply just because it allows for the release. A lot of times
Yeah.
we go through a detox or a cleanse, and we think, okay, we're eating well. This is not helping. What's going on? But you have to release. You have to go through those little steps, like the
Yep.
dry brushing and the deep breathing exercises, and making sure that you poop to
Yep.
release. You have to, you can stir them up all you want, but unless you release them, they're just re-intoxicating you within your body, and you're going to actually feel even worse afterwards. And you're going to say, "Well, Dana
Yeah.
doesn't know what she's talking about. It's not us.
Oh, you
It's
may feel worse. Oh,
yeah,
many
you,
times, yes.
yeah. You really you have to like get it moving with the Sequex and the proper diet, and then the foot detox, and then be able to release it. Just making sure that you're pooping, and that's one of the big things, especially with estrogen. I find, and we've
Yep,
talked about this a lot, but estrogen gets released through the bowels. So that xenoestrogens, the extra estrogens that, maybe you've been told that you're estrogen dominant for whatever reason, whether they're regular estrogens, there's lots of different kinds, or xenoestrogens, uh, just making sure that we release them from our body. So
yep.
you should be having at least one really good poop a day, preferably three. So, if you're holding on to that, you got to let it go.
I was saying that yesterday at my 3 o'clock talk. Estrogen is my topic this week that we're
Yeah.
talking about. So it's like, yeah, you need to know what your bowel movement timing is and what's
Mm-hmm.
normal for you, because some people it changes, but it's that, yes, you need to serving of beets and time it, and that lets you know your timing schedule. Anything longer than 24 hours is very poo-pooed,
Yeah,
and you
yeah, you
shouldn't
don't
do
want to be
that. I
hanging on to
think
that
it's,
for sure.
yeah, every 12 hours or so in that
Mm-hmm.
kind of thought process. But yeah, it's good. And rebounding and just simple self-care techniques, it
Yeah.
really helps you through a change, or through the process, or through the 5 days or 10 days, even a 21 day, you
Yeah.
know, it depends on what you're doing to make it the most effective and make it to work the best. It's it's doing those little steps every day
Mm-hmm.
that change it to make it become a habit. So
Yeah. And I mean, I know that this program can make a difference for a lot of people, but the thing is, there's other deeper issues for some people, and this is where your program, your bigger, larger program, would be very much part of that kind of essence, where people want to really make some lifelong changes, and
yeah,
working through the, like I said, the bigger program that you do have offered.
yeah.
So
The reason, that it's because it does nothing happens overnight.
no,
So,
no.
and it's just gathering this information so that you can understand yourself better. You can ask your you can ask your medical doctors questions better. You can, it's these things that you need to understand. A lot of your health issues you can take a hold of and change yourself.
Oh yeah.
And that's why I created the 12 week, because I want to work with people and be really intensive, um,
Hmm.
and allow them to have that change. It's kind of to master their hormones,
Hmm.
right? It's funny, some of the older fasts that I've been studying talk about the gut being the king of things, and this is, when you're talking in the older books, which I don't have them beside me right now, but and it is taking charge of that. It's showing that it's mind over matter.
Hmm.
You do not need to eat that. You don't, that's that. Your stomach can growl a little bit longer. Have a glass of water. It's that you don't need to eat every single time that you think you do. And it's being in charge of that self-control, right? That builds that bit of self-control and things. But yeah, all lessons we need to learn, all lessons that kind of got tossed on the side during COVID with this stress, which is funny. When I'm talking with them, they're women, they're all, oh, I haven't done anything. I'm like, you're not alone.
Yeah. No.
Don't beat up yourself. It, you can't, a lot of this you can't change,
No,
right?
exactly. Exactly. We have to just learn. It's the whole adage of, how do you deal with negativity in any aspect, like the world, a spouse, your kids, your family members, your friends, whatever. It's your reaction to it that makes a big
Mhm.
difference. It's going to happen either way. Like negativity, it's not going to go away. It's
Right.
how we react to it, and shifting our perspective a lot of times,
Mhm.
because again, we can only control what's going on in here, and we can only control our own reactions to things. So we can put a smile on our face. We can choose to look at the good things. We can
Yeah.
choose to be happy, and find joy in miserable situations. That's our choice. If we choose to dive into the negativity that's going on all around us, well, then that's your choice,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it's not something that's happening to us. It's something that we choose, how to respond to. And I think this is, changing that perspective, and, it just makes a big difference all around.
Oh, it does. I think it's this is the way when you look at you look in that depth of things, and you're journaling about it and keeping track of the thoughts
Yeah,
and the changes, you really understand that whole shift,
yeah,
that whole mindset,
yeah,
that whole emotional eating, your whole habits that you've
yeah,
created for yourself, and that
mhm,
it's not world ending if it
yeah.
changes, right?
Well, and that's it too. I mean, you kind of create your own reality in a lot of instances. People say, "Well, no, all this is happening." Yeah, well, shit happens.
Yeah.
That's part of life, but it's how we react to it and how we deal with it in our own heads and in our hearts and and allow it to affect us. That's a big, big part of it too.
Mhm.
So, what was I going to say? My new saying is with regards to journaling, it's a cheap therapy.
Yeah.
It really is. Therapists, yes, they're very competent, and I really encourage people, if they need to have a therapist, definitely seek one out for yourself. But a lot of times we can't afford it. A lot of people are out of work right now. A lot of people don't have the health insurance to be able to afford
Mhm.
a really good therapist. And journaling is a cheap therapy. It's just, that's just what it is. It's just the way it is. If you take a look at it from that perspective, it's really a wonderful thing. And yeah, that's all I got to say about that.
You have your mindset coming up in March as well, and you do discuss this at depth,
Oh
and it's
yes.
amazing.
Yeah.
Such an amazing program, because it
Yep.
is about that change, that mindset shift that needs to happen sometimes.
Hmm.
And but yeah, the journaling, and it doesn't need to be in depth and like volumes of it. But if you find your mind doesn't shut off, it is that point of journaling to dump everything, so
Yeah.
that you can have a clear mind about things, and be a little more remembering of what those great thoughts and inventions and all these things we thought of as a kid. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I used to journal as a kid, about we called it a diary back then. But I remember, just because we didn't have text messaging, we didn't have Facebook to vent and all these places. And I would, being pissed off with a boyfriend or being upset with my parents or whatever, I
Oh,
would
those
just write it
boyfriend.
out all the
Yeah.
time.
Yes.
It
And
was,
have you ever gone back to look at your diaries, or if in packing, I found a couple of the girls are unpacking and cleaning and doing that stuff. And it is hilarious
yeah,
to go
it is
back
some
to
of
your
the things.
journal readings when you were a kid. You're just like,
Yeah. It's a little funny, but at the same time, I mean, it really did serve its purpose at the
yeah.
time. So I always try to remember that I was in a different place back then. I didn't know much, so I don't really. It's a little good of it's a little bit of a laugh, but it's not something that
Hmm. Hmm.
what do you call it, judge or anything like that and put in a harsh light. It is what it is, which is my favorite saying lately. But
It is what it
it
is.
is, yeah, it's what it is. So
Yes, we do say funny things sometimes, eh?
yeah, my husband and I were yeah, we talk funny like that. There's a commercial on TV. I don't know if you've ever seen it. I don't even know what it's for. Oh, eggs. It's for eggs. And they go, "Well, you're having eggs for supper? That's weird." And the girl goes, "No, your pants are weird." And then they show a picture of the guy with his pants up underneath his. Oh, this is the running joke in our house. "You're weird." "No, your pants are weird." And the kids look at us like, "You both are weird." That's what we always say. "No, that's weird."
Lately,
"No, your
lately
pants
I've been
are
saying toodaloo when I leave, or when I get off the phone. Okay, toodaloo.
weird."
I don't know. We have lots of funny sayings in the Irvin house, but
Not for
they're
yeah,
not for Facebook
consumption.
Live.
I bet. I can
Yes.
imagine.
Well, if everyone knows my husband, or those people who know my husband, they're probably like rolling their eyes. Oh, yes.
Interesting. Interesting.
It's nice though. Maybe we'll go sledding again this weekend because we've got more snow, which will be nice. I know
Yeah.
it's only Tuesday, but we're already planning the weekend. So I think March
Well,
is funny, right? March is that let's get everything jammed in every weekend before the spring comes.
yeah, there's
But
only
if you,
3 weekends or whatever, so 4 weekends. But yeah, by
March
the
is always
last
good.
weekend there might not be any
Well,
snow.
exactly. But
Yeah.
it's interesting. I know everyone who does enjoy outdoor sports, like the outdoor skating rink at Kivi
Mhm.
or Queens Park, or Ramsey, or any of the lakes. Actually, this year they've done a great job with having
Yeah.
skating on them,
Mhm.
cross country skiing, sledding, tobogganing, all these great things. And we're just trying to, now that it's nice weather, we're just jam packing
Yeah.
Are
My
we?
husband's like, he gets up and sees all the snow. He's like, yay, I get to plow the driveway, because I
He
know that
is a
sounds
snow, yeah,
odd, but
is a new snowblower.
well, no,
A new
he built himself a truck out of 2 old trucks and then got a really good deal on a plow. So he's got this really very cool
plow.
homemade truck and plow that he put together, and he had barely ever used it this year. So
Does he go and do all the neighbors too, all the old guys with the beautiful gardens? No?
no, they do their own. They have their own snow blowers at this point, but he doesn't have it on the road, so he can't travel. He just does our. We have 2 driveways, so he just does both driveways. But he really enjoys it. He's like, oh, I can hardly wait for it to snow. I'm like,
I know, right?
and then he says,
Oh,
your pants are weird.
yeah, your pants are weird.
But yeah, people are
No, it's funny.
funny.
It's funny what we think of when it snows. Oh, good, we get to get the snowblower out. Said no one in the southern states until this
Oh yeah,
week.
snowblower. What the hell's that?
Well, at least they have power back and they have water and
Yeah, no, it was a terrible situation. I mean, they're not equipped for it by any means whatsoever. That's not who they are. They're not snow people like us. But at least, they're slowly coming back and around to their normal way of things. I'm sure the snow is probably gone by now, really, if it
maybe.
warms
I
up.
don't think so. I think it's still
Oh,
there.
no?
It's interesting, but one of the underlying little murmurs you had coming out with the Trump elections was that there would be rolling blackouts. Lisa kept saying, we've got to watch for rolling blackouts. But this was back election time, right?
Yeah.
So is it coincidental? And then this is the only reason I think of this, because a girlfriend and I were talking about it, because I'd asked how they've been, and they've had blackouts too, and they aren't in Texas.
Oh,
so it's
interesting.
like, yeah, it is interesting. I was just thinking of that now. I'm like, oh, so is it the rolling blackouts that they were promising? Or is it actually because of the deep freeze that has plummeted most of the states?
Well, I think the Mother Nature has a lot to do with that one. I don't think Mr. Trump has
funny, though.
great of a reach to control
That's
Mother
funny.
Nature,
That is funny.
Oh wow.
But the fun argument you incite with people around the world. So
yeah.
Not really arguments,
Facebook's gonna light up. I don't see a lot of that because I don't follow a lot of that political stuff. And people go, oh, I can't watch Facebook anymore because it's all just all this and it's all that. And well, if you don't follow these people to begin with, or follow people that follow those things, then you're not going to see it. And I don't see a lot of it.
We can both just continue living in a little bubble of
well, no, it's for my own mental health, because I did get caught up in a little bit of it, and I was just like, no, I'm sorry, my mental health is more important than you telling me what I should be thinking. And so I'm like, okay, it's a simple click. That's all it is.
Yeah.
And
well, we don't have TV here.
So.
We don't have TV here, so we have to rely on
well, I don't watch the news either when it comes on. I'm usually scrolling through Instagram or something, and unless something really catches my eye, then I'll perk up to it. But I'm like, wow, I really don't want to watch stuff that's going to bother me. So my parents are just so political too. I go over and I put myself in my bubble, and I'm like, I love you guys. We really do. I'm not. Don't ask Dad about his views, please. Nobody bring up Trump. And then, of course, my husband starts poking the bear, and he's like, so, Mike, what do you think? And I'm like, oh. I love my parents.
Absolutely.
Don't get me wrong. But it's just, they're very passionate about their views. And I've never been political by any means, and that's okay. I mean, that's who they are, and this is who I am, and we all love each other. It's not a big deal, but it's like, don't poke the bear, whatever you do. And my daughter and my husband too, and my brother and I, we just we run and hide because we know the potential of what's
out here. Yep,
exactly. It was funny because my daughter, even at a young age, she was like 4 or 3 years old, she'd sit at the dining room table with my father, and she'd say, "No, Grandpa." And it's like my brother and I would look at each other like, nobody says no to Dad.
Yeah.
What's going on? This little child come into the world, and she's just like, "No, Grandpa, that's not the way it is."
All right, I must go.
Yes, it's 9:30.
Yes, taking the cat and dog to the chiropractor this morning.
Oh,
Yes, I
nice.
take the
That
cat
must
and
be a
dog
fun
to the
car ride.
chiropractor.
I said, that must be a fun car ride.
It'll be fine. It's always fine. It's perfect. But we noticed a
Mm.
huge difference. It's a huge difference in the
Oh,
health.
yeah, your kitty
So
had back
yeah,
leg problems, eh?
that's with Dr. Sherry Gillette at Complete Family Chiropractic, and she's at the Montrose Mall. No, at the Montrose. Anyways,
In Sudbury?
yeah, the Kingsway Berrydown area, and but she does animal chiropractic care,
Nice. I
and
love
she
that.
does a phenomenal job. So, yes, James will take the animals to the chiropractor, but not himself. So,
Self-care.
yes, he's loving the
Okay.
sequence.
So everybody join Dana's 5-day hormone detox starting next Monday. She's going to go on live at 7 a.m. every morning. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna join just for that. I love you.
You're so funny.
7 a.m.
Well, the
Yeah,
reason I
you get
chose
it
it,
done. Yeah, you get it done and over.
well, it's there, right? And
Yeah,
it's done. And then it can be viewed for the rest of the day.
I'm
And
sorry.
but it's that focus of that self-care checklist,
Yes, that's true.
right? So
Mhm.
that was my reason for a 7 a.m. other than I need to get my butt out of bed in the morning. Enough of this, enough drifting,
Enough drifting. Oh,
enough
yes.
drifting.
Yes,
But
I
I
should get that
honestly couldn't think,
example.
what am I supposed to do at 7 o'clock in the evening? No, like
No.
have a life. Visit with your family. Get off your social internet.
Yeah.
Don't get me started. You're supposed to have better boundaries. I'm not supposed to be on there.
Okay. I love you. That
Bye.
is okay. Don't be mad at me. Talk to you guys later.